Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for tuning in to this meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, and thank you all at home for watching. Before we begin the meeting, as always, we're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. So everybody please rise. And Councilman Borelli, could you lead us this evening?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We take a moment to remember all our soldiers serving abroad that are not home with their families in this holiday time. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Okay, once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and those at home that are watching. This town board meeting of the Town of Carmel, today's date is Wednesday, December 8th, 2021. And this evening at 6 p.m., the board met in executive session with Mary Ann Maxwell, the town controller, to discuss the workers' comp renewal, which was contractual. The second item was personnel, PBA retirement incentive. Then again with Mary Ann for a user fee schedule. And also the final item was with myself, was personnel budget for fiscal year 2022. So for the record, all town board members are present with the exception of Councilwoman McDonough, who is not feeling well and could not join us this evening. All the way down to my right is Ann Spofford, our town clerk. Ann, thanks for being here. And all the way down to my left is Greg Fulchetti. He's a Carmel Town Council. And in the audience, we have Carmel Councilman-elect Steve Baranowski. Steve joined us in executive session, as well as Town Supervisor-elect Mike Kazari is here with us also. Mike did join us in executive session this evening as well. So the first item we have tonight is a public hearing to hear objections to the assessment rolls for the operation and maintenance of the improvements of the garbage, sewer, and water districts for fiscal year 2022. Ann, would you please read the notice of the public hearing?
Notice is hereby given that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, pursuant to Town Law Section 202-A, will conduct a public hearing at the Town Hall, 60 McAlpin Avenue, Mahopac, New York, on Wednesday, December 8th, 2021 at 7 p.m. or as soon thereafter that evening as possible for the following purpose. To consider the 2022 tentative assessment rolls of Carmel Sewer Districts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, as well as Carmel Water Districts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, and extensions thereto, as well as the Town of Carmel Garbage District. Be it further noticed that the 2022 tentative assessment rolls may be inspected at the Town Hall, 60 McAlpin Avenue, Mahopac, New York, during normal business hours. At said public hearing, all interested persons shall be heard on the subject thereof. The Town Board will make every effort to assure that the public hearing is accessible to persons with disabilities. Anyone requiring special assistance and/or reasonable accommodations should contact the Town Clerk. By order of the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, Ann Spofford, Town Clerk.
Okay, Ann, thank you for the reading of the notice of public hearing. I need a motion to open it.
So moved.
So moved to open the public hearing by Councilman Lombardi.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Channel. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the public hearing is now open. Is there any members of the public that are here that would like to come up and speak on this public hearing this evening? Come on up at this time. Okay, there being none, I need a motion to close. So moved to close by Councilman Lombardi.
Second.
Second to close by Councilman Borelli and Councilman Channel. All those in favor to close?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the public hearing is closed at this time. Okay, so we're going to go on to the town board.
Special meeting.
We're going to go on to the town board. What's that?
Can we
Ian?
just make a motion to close the
Yeah,
special?
yeah.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
just
yeah,
about
yeah.
to,
Okay, I need a motion to close the special
so
meeting.
moved.
Yep, so moved by Councilman Lombardi.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Channel. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay,
Ann.
thanks, Ann. Okay, now I need a motion to open the work session.
So moved.
So moved by Councilman Lombardi.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Channel and Borelli. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so the town board work session for this evening is now open. So the first item is a review of the town board minutes of November 3rd and 17th and December 1st of 2021. Does any town board members like to comment on those minutes? Go ahead and comment. If not, we'll move on.
Thank you.
Okay, there being no comments on the minutes, Number one on this evening's work session, Supervisor Schmidt, discussion of Police Department retirement incentive for fiscal year 2022. So as the public is aware that this is the third year now that we have offered a police retirement incentive to the officers of the Town of Carmel Police Department. In the first 2 years, I believe we had 4 officers. Marianne, am I right? 4? Four officers actually took the retirement incentive in 2020 and 1 in 2021. So 5 officers thus far, since the town board has been offering the retirement incentive, have availed themselves to it and have retired with the incentive. So how does that incentive help the town? It helps it tremendously because there's a cost savings by senior officers who are at top pay and have 20-plus years or more on the job. When they retire, the town hires new officers to replace those that have retired at a very much less salary. The new academy hires are, I believe, at $48,000 now, and transfer year 2s are at $62,000, I believe. So there is a significant savings by the senior officers retiring and the town hiring new officers to replace them. So the savings, in year 1, the savings was about $500,000 for the 4 officers that retired. That was in 2020. And in 2021, the savings, because 1 officer took it, was about $120,000 for that officer. So it does make sense to offer this retirement incentive to our police officers because it's such a significant savings to the taxpayers in money saved over the period of the incentive. So with this current incentive, there's 3 officers with 20 years or more who have indicated that they would retire from the police department if the incentive was offered. So those officers, again, have 20 years or more, and they had asked me if the town board would be interested in continuing to offer the retirement incentive. So we spoke about it tonight in executive session, and the board is in agreement and is in favor of offering the incentive once again. So the savings would be approximately in 2023, if the 3 officers retired, would be about $475,000. So it's about $500,000 in savings to the town. So this is a good program. It's something where the taxpayers do benefit and the town benefits by the officers that would take this incentive. So again, 3 have indicated their desire to retire if it was offered, and I believe those 3 are going to retire. So there'll be a significant savings to the town.
And that also includes savings on their health benefits on new hires compared to Tier 2
And the pension.
officers and the pension.
And pension as well, yeah. The pension contribution is the big one.
Right.
You know, where they're new officers that are hired are contributing to their pension. I believe, how much are they contributing, Marion? Is it 50?
It's not what they're contributing, it's what we're contributing. We contribute 30% for Tier 2s.
Okay, but it's also taken out of their salary, though.
Yes.
So there is something, they are contributing because it's being reduced from their salary. I believe it's 15% is what they contribute.
Tier 5 and 6.
Yeah.
I think you're talking about health insurance versus pension cost. Yeah, that's 2
What
different.
were you referring to, health?
She was talking about pension. You guys were talking about health.
We
Health.
were talking about health.
Yeah.
But there's also
So-
savings in the health also.
Yes.
There'll
Yes, there is
there'll be a
good-
savings that we'll recognize in 2023's budget, when we do the 2023 budget. And a lot of the costs associated with these particular officers who are on the, who are here, senior officers, it's because of their legacy costs under the Tier 2 program with regard to, mostly because of the pension costs that the town has to contribute to it. But we're going to get to a point, probably within the next maybe 18 months or so, where there's not going to be that savings to the town, so we may not offer this for more than, maybe the next year or 18 months after that. And of course, we'll always have to analyze the numbers, but once we get to numbers with regard to the different tiers, there may not be that significant savings or any savings at all. So that's something that we have to consider going forward, but it's not going to be, I just want to make everybody understand, it's not an automatic thing. It's not endless, and it's not an automatic thing that we're going to do every year. It just so happens that in the past, the numbers worked. This particular time, the numbers worked. But in the future, going past 2023 into 2024, it may not be a benefit to the town to do that. So I just want to make everyone understand that. And it's mostly because of not necessarily just the salary savings cost, but the legacy cost involved in the pension program, which is the biggest benefit to the town going forward. And again, we won't see it, it's not going to affect the budget, this current
Right.
budget that we're in for next
You'll see
year,
it next
but
year.
we'll see it in the 2023 budget savings.
And I believe
So-
there will also
Right.
be a window of time to opt in.
There is, it's 3 months. It's
Okay.
a 3-month window. It'll probably be January 15th, April 15th
Okay,
is when they would have to opt in. It closes on April 15th, so those who are considering retiring under this particular offering for the plan, they'd have to retire before April 15th.
right, okay.
So, and it's a $50,000, I don't know if I mentioned, it's a $50,000 retirement incentive is the amount that they're being compensated with if they choose to retire.
And
So,
that savings number is with that plug.
I was just going to say, that number that you gave, that approximate number, is with, calculated those numbers already into it.
Into it, right.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. So,
That's the savings after the 150.
yes,
Correct.
yes, yeah,
Okay,
so, all right. Any other board members have any comments on this? No? Okay. All right, so next is number 2 and 3 is Mary Ann Maxwell, Town Controller. 2 is to consider a resolution authorizing emergency expenditure of monies from the Carmel Sewer District Number 4 Repair Reserve Fund.
Excuse me, good evening. Yes, earlier this year in Carmel Sewer District Number 4, we had to transfer $47,000 from the repair reserve fund balance. Beginning of 2021, there was $91,000 in that fund. Now we're having to transfer the remainder of the repair reserve to cover costs in that district. So unfortunately, the unreserved fund balance has deteriorated as well, and we need to pull money from the repair reserve to cover costs, emergency expenditure costs within that district. I know we've had conversations with the engineering department with regard to what's going on in that district. I think if you have, if you want more details, you'd have to talk to Rich about it. But there's definitely some concern in sewer district number 4. So the prior resolution that we did earlier this year, we have to pay back the $47,000 in the budgets for 23 and 22 and 23. Because this is so late in the year and the 22 budget is already adopted, Greg, I'm asking that we pay that back in 23 and 24, because we'll have to pay that, basically, when you borrow from the repair reserve, you have to pay it back within a 2-year period. Because the 22 budget is already adopted, we're kind of spreading that over a 3-year period.
Mary Ann,
Okay.
if we look at next year's budget for that district with regard to the taxes that we collect on that, what is going into the reserve fund in next year? If there's no repairs needed? what
Yeah,
is the-
so the tax levy increased a little over 30% in that district. Okay, so the taxes are going up 30%. We did budget, I think it was like 22,000 to add back into the reserve in 22. In 23, it will probably be about 47,000, and then the remainder in 24. So
So
we're
they'll-
going to start, at the end of 24, we'll have the reserve back up to 90,000, but
Will there be a surplus of money next year in that account? After you deduct?
there will be, as long as we don't need it again. Right,
Okay.
correct. We've talked to, I've had conversations with Kenny on this too, talking to engineering about coming up with some kind of capital plan to fix the problem. Again, I'm not an engineer, I don't know
Right.
what's going on, I know it has something to do with septic, and emergency, expenditures in that district, so there's definitely an issue. Because I think I have the numbers here, in 2017, there was $347,000 in the fund balance. So that was only 4 years ago. There was over 300,000. So we've gone through that on top of the operating budget. So we've gone through that plus the 90,000. So again,
There needs to be some type of engineering analysis done or a study done as to what's causing the issues in that district.
Absolutely.
You know, because the cost to continue to operate that.
We can't, I mean, we exceed the operating budget, and when you exceed the operating budget, you have to pull from the fund balance. And that's why a fund balance is there. It's like your own savings account. If you don't have a savings account to put a roof on your, over your head, you know, you have to borrow. You know, and maybe that's what we should be doing, is borrowing, or coming up with some kind of capital plan so that we can borrow to fix it. I don't know.
Right, but we
you
need to know what exactly the issue
What
is
the
and what the
issue is.
cost is gonna be.
Exactly.
To borrow it
Right,
in one
right.
time.
Right.
You know,
I
so
think they're just,
The
you know.
engineer, Rich has indicated that there is concerns and there is issues in that particular district that need to be looked at.
I think they did
So
put something in the 2022 budget, you know, to start the process of fixing it. But, you know, if that's not gonna, you know, maybe that's where you start, and you know, if you borrow and you pay it off over a 20-year period or even a 5-year period, you know, the interest rates are low now. So it's, you know, instead of draining your fund balance, you know, that doesn't look good. You know, look what happened to us in the general fund with Moody's. You know, they look at the districts as well. If your district's fund balances are decreasing like this, it's, Moody's is not only, Moody's doesn't only look at the general fund. They'll look at the districts as well, so.
Let's determine what the problem is and fix it.
Correct.
So this doesn't continue in the future.
Right.
So Rich needs
I
to,
was just gonna say, can you ask Rich
I'll ask
to
Rich to-
email all of us tomorrow to see
Right.
what the issue is, and
And what
we'll
needs to
all
be done.
determine what we need to do. For fund
We did,
four?
yeah. I think there were I&I issues in that district. Significant I&Is, yeah.
Is that sewer 1 or,
It was in 4.
okay.
It was 4,
Okay.
yeah.
I think we had a,
Proposed capital plan for all the improvement districts.
okay.
I think it was developed and it was finally adopted, but it'd be a matter of updating it, but that problem probably dates back to
I think it does, yeah,
16 or 17.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You have any
And maybe,
questions?
and it's a possibility that this money from COVID would help, you know, could contribute towards that. I mean, that's, it's,
We'd have to.
water
I mean,
and
that's-
sewer infrastructure is something you can use this, you know, this money for. You know, so I think that's the other thing. Like, if there's something that you can come up with a capital plan, you can use that money. You know, and this district could use it.
Right.
I agree.
This,
I
you
think
know,
that-
the taxpayers in this district would benefit.
Agreed, but
because
we
it's
have to be, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but.
That's okay.
We just can't, we have to, if we were to use money for that, we'd have to, you know, it'd have to be evenly spread out against, across the town. all the
Oh, yeah,
water districts
no, I
and
mean,
sewer
yeah,
districts.
yeah.
Right, right.
But, I mean, if it's in a smaller, you know, water or sewer district where the taxpayers could, you know, be crippled from
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
from
no, no, I agree.
a
Yeah, I
huge
just don't know
cost
what the
like that.
issue is.
Yeah.
We'll have to figure out what
Right.
the issue
We
is.
have to figure that right.
Yeah, yeah, so, anyway, so that's,
so Rich
we'll
will-
need that
Rich, yeah, I'll
resolution,
talk to Rich tomorrow.
yeah,
Okay.
okay.
All right, Mary Ann, number 3, this is considered budget revisions for October and November of 2021.
Okay, so in the general fund, number 1, we're providing for the payout of accrued vacation time in the Justice Court, Highway Admin staff, and the Recreation staff. Number 2, we're providing for the retirement payout of accrued time in the Assessor's Office of $44,702. Both 1 and 2 are coming from a fund balance that we have set aside for compensated absences. So it's not an expense to the taxpayers. Number 3, we're providing and transferring for the retirement incentive and payout of accrued time in the police department. That was the $50,000 incentive that was paid out in September of, I think it was September of 2021. And then $77,106 is what was paid out of accrued time. Again, that's from the fund balance. Number 4, we're providing and transferring for police overtime, holiday pay, and benefit costs, all within the police department. Part of this is for the community police overtime, that the traffic control, the police department is doing the traffic control overtime down at Villa Barone. We are getting paid for that, so it's not a cost to the taxpayers for that. So basically, the 11,625 is a wash, where we've gotten the revenue in from Villa Barone, and it just basically goes into the expense account to cover that cost. Number 4, we're providing for the police vehicle repairs from an insurance claim of $5,566. Number 6, we're providing for the purchase of the boat per the approved resolution. The lake patrol equipment, the cost of the boat was $149,478. I think we did put a purchase order in, but we just, as of right now, we just put down a deposit for the boat.
We do get reimbursed some of those funds,
We
correct?
do also get, that's a good point, yes, we do get reimbursed. So I think what they're putting in for in 2021 is 50% of the deposit that we put down. I think it was $25,000, if I recall correctly. So we'll be reimbursed for $12,500 in 2021. And then the remainder, when we do, pay the balance of the boat, we'll get reimbursed for half of that.
Thank you.
Number 7, we're providing and transferring for the architect expense for the Historical Society. 80% was funded from a state grant, so we received $6,200. The total cost was $7,750. Number 7A, we're transferring for the Carmel sidewalk replacement per authorizing resolution. The cost to the sidewalks, the Carmel revitalization sidewalk repair was approximately $17,000. So both 7 and 7A are coming from the contingent account in the 2021 budget. On page 2, transferring from miscellaneous general fund expenses in various departments. Number 9, we're transferring from miscellaneous recreation expenses. And number 10, we're transferring $10,500 into the airport capital fund from recreation expense lines. In the highway fund, we're transferring for miscellaneous highway fund expenses within the highway fund. On page 3, Lake Secor Park District, transferring for contractual and utility expenses. And page 3, 4, and 5, there are numerous transfers for water and sewer districts. I'm just going to touch on the ones that we have to pull from the fund balance. The other districts had money in their operating budget to transfer, so I just want to kind of touch on the ones that we had to pull from the fund balance, which means that we didn't have enough money in the operating budget. So Carmel Water District number 3, which is also Lake Secor, Water District 3 is Secor, and Sewer District 4 is Secor. So again, those taxpayers in Secor are seeing a little bit of financial problems. We're pulling $15,000 from the fund balance in Water District number 3. The fund balance in Water District number 3 has $53,000 in there. Taxes are going up 18.3% in 2022 in Water District number 3. So we've got to keep an eye on that district as well. On the bottom of page 3, Water District number 7, transferring $6,000 from the fund balance. That district had a 0% tax increase, but I'm going to watch that again in 2022. There's $15,000 in the fund balance in that district. On page 4, Sewer District number 4, we talked about that already. We're transferring $18,000 from the regular fund balance and reserve fund balance. I'm also transferring $25,000 from the debt fund in Sewer District number 4, which had $28,000. Now it's only going to have $3,000. So the debt fund is, we're basically wiping that district out to pay for the expenses that we're seeing. So it's definitely an issue. On page 5, Carmel Sewer District number 7, we're transferring $30,000 from the fund balance. That district has a healthy fund balance of $182,000, so the operating fund didn't have enough money to cover the costs, so we are taking $30,000 from that fund balance. On the bottom of page 5, the airport capital funds, I talked earlier that we're transferring $10,500 from the recreation budget lines just to cover additional contractual building improvements to the building down at the airport park. And the only other one is Carmel Water District number 2. We're providing for capital project costs from approved borrowing. And those are the two One was the change order that was approved in Water District Number 2 for the capital project, and the other one was the other capital project that was approved. And that's it. That's all I have.
Okay, any
Okay.
questions or comments from Mary Ann? Or budget revisions, modifications she just went over?
No.
No? Bob?
No.
Right, good. Okay, thanks, Mary Ann.
Thank you.
Okay, so the fourth and final item tonight, the Philbin Group LLC. This is to consider request for a letter of support from the Carmel Town Board in regards to an application of the Braymore at Carmel Assisted Living Residence to the Putnam County IDA, Industrial Development Agency. So what is Braymore at Carmel? Braymore at Carmel, this is the project. The community currently under development is Braymore Living at Carmel, located at 49 Seminary Hill Road. It's a 19.9 acre site in the town of Carmel, Putnam County, New York. This will be the fourth Philbin-sponsored assisted living property. Braemar will serve 152 residents in 104 units, private one-bedroom and two-bedroom suite residences. The community will be licensed as an adult home, assisted living residence, and assisted living program. The three-story, 117,000 square foot property will offer a complete array of residential and assisted living services, including the provisions of a special needs assisted living residence and a memory care unit with 32 beds, dedicated to serving residents with increasing dementia and Alzheimer's, as well as an enhanced assisted living residence with 30 beds, allowing frail, highly acutely residents to remain in the facility and age in place. Braemore will fill an identified need for affordable, quality housing for seniors who can no longer live alone without assistance, but who do need continual skilled nursing care. Our goal is to provide an opportunity for these seniors to live in a residential environment where they can interact with one another, as well as continue to be an active member of the community while receiving the support and services they may need. In addition to providing the local community with access to high-quality assisted living services, Braemore will be an economic engine to the community. It is estimated that Braemore will create approximately 75 full-time equivalent job positions, 250 construction jobs, and generate more than $3 million economic activity annually for the local vendors and businesses supplying goods and services to the project. So that's the Braemore project. It's located on Seminary Hill Road in Carmel, which, if you're familiar with where the Paladin Center is, it's a parcel just to the, I believe, the south of where the Paladin Center is located, which is the old guidepost facility up in Carmel. So this is a separate parcel that this project would be constructed on, a 19.9 acre site off of Seminary Hill Road. It has received planning board approval. Am I correct, Ray?
Site plan approval.
It's received planning board site plan approval for this project, and what they're seeking now is a letter from the town board in support of the project, which will go to the Putnam County IDA, and this will be for tax incentives that may be associated with that particular project. Am I right, Mr. Lepler? Okay, is there anything else that you want to add to this with respect to the request for the Putnam County IDA, the letter of support for it? If there is, Harold, just come up to the microphone.
I apologize. Thank you. We've spent the last 2-3 years working with this company to bring this project to the level of fulfillment that it's at now. They went through a very difficult time with their existing facilities with COVID. They fought the governor of New York. I know this personally. The state came down on them for not towing the line based on what our former governor demanded. They said, I was with them in person, that it would be irresponsible to bring in people that have been exposed and were ill within a serious senior residential facility. what they did proved absolutely right. They took all steps and precautions way ahead of anyone else to provide the security and the medical care that was needed. They came out of it great. When it was all said, the state health department came back and commended them for their action and courage in that. They've just been wonderful people to work with. They care about the communities they serve, the people they serve. If you see it appropriate to refer this positively to the IDA, it would be a big help.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Harold. Greg, is there anything you want to add to this?
It has its site plan approval already. And with respect to the Industrial Development Agency, a letter of support from the locality is usually required. They may come back later for what's known as a pilot agreement, and that would require a separate approval of the town board, but that's not what they're asking for now. It's just a letter of support for their application to the IDA. So the project has all its approvals, and you've got a description of it and what Mr. Lepler had added to it in terms of their purpose. So it'd just be a benefit to the project itself and having it built and being able to take advantage of its status.
Okay, we've done this in the past, I believe?
We have.
Okay. There were several projects, I believe, in the Hamlet of Carmel that we submitted letters
Either
of support.
supported for their application to the IDA and or for
Right.
pilot agreements thereafter.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Greg. Town board have any questions? or
My own
comments?
concern is obviously the Carmel Water District too, and the sewer district, that, that won't tax it too much.
I
Being
believe
there's
that
going to
was-
be,
Should have been part of the
It was
site
part
plan
of the site plan
process.
approval.
should have been,
They
right?
discussed that, yeah.
And it wasn't changed, that
No.
was originally was went through.
The flows
And
were,
I also see there's two sections here that there could be an addition, so I think I read some of the backup, it said it can go up to 172 rooms, if I'm not mistaken, if they,
I apologize. if-
there's plans here that the facility could be expanded at some point. In the corners here, though, I see a dotted line, it looks like there's a possible two areas where you can expand on the site itself, to expand the rooms.
There's the ability for a further expansion that was
Right.
shown, and that's absolutely correct.
Okay,
Your big issue today coming out of this healthcare crisis is the ability to find the lenders, the national lenders, that would normally have jumped on doing something post-COVID.
all right.
It's a challenge. And we personally have offered to assist them privately if needed. Their comment is they're ready to go. They have full drawings for construction, for your building department, for all fire safety issues. Thank you.
And the height of it, I guess, is fine with the fire department?
Yeah.
They'll be able to handle it, and, God forbid, there's a case of a fire?
yeah, I believe that was addressed also at the planning board level with the
Right.
fire department.
I think it's a great facility. It's something I think we would welcome here in the town, knowing firsthand family members who had Alzheimer's, and unfortunately nowhere nearby where you could find help for them in a facility like this. I think it'll be good. It'll help a lot of people out in town.
And sadly, that number is increasing.
And sadly, that's
With
increasing. Yeah.
that dementia and Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
I can attest to that. I had a family member that had that, so.
Thank you
Thank you.
Okay, Harold.
very much.
All right, thank you. Thanks for being here.
A healthy holiday to all and family.
You
You as well, thank
Harold. You and your family as well. Thank you. Okay, all right. If there's no further questions on this item, we're going to then, that's the final item for tonight's work session. So is there any members of the public that are here that would like to come up and comment on the work session items that we just covered this evening? Come on up if there are. Okay, is there anyone here for open business, open forum, new business portion of the meeting? Come on up at this time if you'd like to address the town board. Okay, there being none, board members have any comments? None?
Just want to congratulate the Carmel Rams on their victory.
And the parade is this
And the
Saturday.
parade will be this Saturday, December 11th, at 11 a.m., 11 to 1. Starts at Reed Memorial Library and will end in front of the county courthouse. It should be a great time. A lot of
11 a.m.?
11 a.m., first time ever in Putnam County.
It's historic.
And go Rams, it's awesome.
Yep. Okay.
It's going to be a good time.
Yep, congratulations, Carmel Rams
Congratulations.
football.
The coaches and all the
Cheerleaders,
players and the
coaches,
parents and
parents,
all those that
staff,
supported them.
Players, great job. History-making win for Carmel High School and Putnam County. It's the first time that a football team from Putnam County has won the state title championship. So hats off to you guys. You played your hearts out, and it showed. You made us proud. Congratulations. Okay, so the next time we meet is going to be next Wednesday. It is December 15th. It'll be for a voting meeting. So I need a motion to close.
So moved.
So moved by Councilman Lombardi.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Shannon.